Wake up to go.
Happy Friday, everybody. We finally made it. It's here. Kind of a crazy story that's trending online. A lot of parents are upset about talking about this morning. So this 8-year-old boy was getting on a CMS school bus stop yesterday morning. Evidently, he was kicked off the school bus and told to get off due to overcrowding, and was left alone. His parents had already said bye. The school bus doors had closed.
Hard to believe that could happen today in today's world.
It is. It's really shocking. And so, thankfully, a good Samaritan, a concerned stranger, saw the child and drove the child back home. But now, we want to know your thoughts on this story. Comment below, but our Austin Walker spoke to the dad, and here's the story, and we'll talk more about it coming on the other side of the story.
If you ask Zacchary McLean, CMS failed a pretty important test Thursday.
You guys didn't do your job.
He says the subject, trust and safety. Thursday morning, McLean dropped his 8-year-old son Carter off at the bus stop to go to school.
Seen him get on, seen the doors close. I said, all right, I'm headed off to work.
McLean heading home for about 20 minutes before he saw something that stumped him.
My son Carter walks right back through the door, and we're like, how are you here and why are you here?
Then finding out how he got back. Strangers.
We get a knock on our door from 2 concerned parents saying they drove Carter home from the bus stop.
The answer on why he was kicked off.
He said he had to get off the bus because it was overcrowded.
McLean and his wife reaching out to CMS and the bus company, trying to figure out why their 8-year-old was left alone at the corner. The bus company telling McLean the driver followed policy.
For when buses are overcrowded, they kick off kids and they leave them at the bus stop for them to wait until the next bus arrives.
McLean's wife then asking CMS where her son was, assuming the district would know he was removed from the bus. In this case, the district told the parents, we're not sure.
It's possibly, like, these situations can cause kids to go missing.
WCNC Charlotte reached out to CMS about the incident. The district says, quote, if a bus is overcrowded, our policy is that the bus is to remain on site until a relief bus arrives to pick up impacted students. We are currently investigating the details surrounding today's bus stop incident. We will review it against our current procedures and adjust as necessary to ensure this does not occur again. The bus company also telling us the security tape inside the bus was pulled and sent off to the national office. I asked for a copy. No response.
You got to make sure those kids are safe before you leave.
Thursday, McLean saying CMS and the bus company have a lot left to learn.
Policy needs to be changed,
so this doesn't happen to any other child.
You don't know what can happen.
In Charlotte, Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte. And
it's crazy because we were talking like, back in the day, you know, I rode the bus and they just dropped me off and said bye-bye. But
enjoy.
It's a totally different day and age. Yes. And I was telling...
Safety a major concern.
Yes. Yes. And I was telling our producers I was late one day for pickup. Right. And I had spoken to the school and said, you know, if I'm not there, my neighbor can take them.
This is for your kids.
For my kid. And they would not let my child off the bus if I was not there. Especially 8 years old, that's elementary school.
Yeah, that's such a strange thing.
See, as a new parent, so that's the new change. They won't let you off the bus unless they see that somebody is present, like a handoff.
I had to do a written consent that my daughter could go with my neighbor.
Well, now, what school system is that?
Well, it's Union County. Yeah, so it's not CMS.
Maybe different policies, different school systems. This is, I've never, in all the years I've been in Charlotte, almost my entire adult life, never heard this story, anything like this.
Especially an 8-year-old.
8-year-old, I mean, it's got to be an anomaly. It's got to be just isolated.
Yeah, it's very, very odd.
So a lot of you are chiming in on this story on Facebook. Here's just some of the comments. Lynn saying this is nuts. maybe not 15, 20 years ago, but with all the people snatching kids these days, I would have put 3 in a seat and then got fired. Sharon saying, not good. This child could have been abducted. Better choices should be made by the bus drivers, too. Amanda saying, it's common. So it's common to just leave young children at the bus stop. She's questioning that. So that means if the child were to be kidnapped or something horrible happen, then the bus company would be held responsible. Andrew, though, this is interesting, saying this is very common, actually. I've driven for 4 school bus companies, and they all do this.
What?
Catherine saying,
never heard this before.
Yeah. You would think, well, this is the thing, too. If you read further, CMS officials do say the policy is for the overcrowded bus to wait on site until the next bus arrives. Obviously, you don't leave an 8-year-old there, like what happened here. And then Rebecca saying the driver needs to be fired and charged with child endangerment. That's the confusing thing, too. And I don't know the deal with this area, how many buses come through. I'm sure it depends on how many students live there. But, normally, like our neighborhood, we have like a bus at 6:45 that comes for elementary, and then middle and high school, those all start later. So I think the next bus comes at like 9 or something like that. So unless they knew that another bus was coming right away.
Everybody's got a cell phone. You're the driver of the bus. Make a phone call.
Yeah.
I've got a student here. We don't have enough room. What should I do? If you don't know what to do, no. And then, you know, the situation with a Good Samaritan that could have turned out to be not a Good Samaritan.
That's also true. Like trusting, because he said essentially it was a stranger. And in this day and age, like stranger danger is higher than it ever has. Well, I don't really understand. Is it because they said overcrowding? Is it just because like new kids started the school year? Like, because I feel like there's usually a certain amount of people that are on the bus. Did somebody take the bus that usually doesn't, and then this kid gets bumped? I don't know.
A lot of questions.
That's the thing. There's so more questions than answers with this. But regardless, don't leave an 8-year-old just chilling outside.
Right.
And I'm sure we'll have more about this as the day goes by. We'll get more response from the school system.
And we'll see how it all unfolds.
Very scary. I mean, I'm so thankful there was
a good Samaritan,
a good person who cared about this kid.
So scary.
Happy ending, just a lot of questions.
All right, well, thanks for joining Wake Up Charlotte to go. Keep your comments coming, though. We do want to read them, and we'll see you back on air at 11:30. Have a happy Friday, everybody.